Hey, this is Esplin227 again with another video to FreeLongPig. Basically, he just sidestepped everything I said. Um, I think you're projecting your preconceived notions of anti-natalist onto me when you interpret my beliefs as including life is meaningless. You said that I said life is meaningless over and over again. I never even addressed whether or not life is meaningful. If your opinion differs from the label you choose for yourself, and you do not distinguish that in the beginning of the conversation, you cannot blame the person you're arguing with for using that in the conversation. I did not project shit. I gave you the benefit of the doubt with the killing everyone alive. I knew that's not what you believe. I gave you the benefit of the doubt with forced sterilization. The fact is, we'll call it denomination of antinatalism that you claim to be asserts that either life is not worth living or that life is meaningless. Without those things, you don't have an argument. I'm getting sick of this crap. If I argue with a Christian for 20 minutes or several hours about Christ, and they purposely don't establish that they don't believe that Christ was literal, that he was a metaphor, yet they allow me to keep arguing. And by the way, what you did is the equivalent of that. You made an entire page only saying what you do not think. I assumed what you do think falls in line with your branch of antinatalism. If it doesn't, you should have established that. That was dishonest. That's the same thing Christians do when you argue with them for like 45 minutes or several hours, and at the very end of the argument, when you've obliterated every single iota, every single inch of their argument, I went up, but every bit of their argument, they say, well, it doesn't matter because I don't believe any of those things. You just assumed I believe those things. Yeah, because you called yourself Christian and argued with me about specific points as if you believed them. You wrote me almost 2 pages of fucking dialogue when you know that the antinatalist position almost always, and I've watched a bunch of antinatalist videos to get you guys' perspective, it's either a variation of there's more pain than pleasure, so we shouldn't have children, that's forcing it on them. Life is meaningless, we're just DNA particles, a laugh is just a spasm of muscles. Or the value we put on life is arbitrary, and can't be used as an argument, and can't be forced on someone who might not value the same things we do. Those are your 3 fucking choices. Otherwise, you need to establish a new branch of antinatalism, douchebaggery, because you withhold information way until after the conversation is done, and then you say, this is not what you said, but this is an extreme example. Well, I don't believe people shouldn't have children. I'm a different kind of antinatalist. No, you're fucking not. You're either... It is up to you to define your beliefs at the beginning of the argument. It's not up to me to figure out your exact ideology out of the millions of combinations of things you have. The best way to do that is you give someone a label. You say, I'm a Christian, or I'm an antinatalist, or I'm a pronatalist. That deals with that basically gives them an idea of a few core beliefs that you hold. Some are less descriptive than others. For instance, I'm an atheist. That says nothing about my ethics, morality, or anything else. So if they assume any more than that, then that's their problem. Whereas Christianity, if you say I'm Christian and then you say, well, I only believe the dude exists, I don't believe he's God, you are lying. Not about what you believe, but you purposely withheld information until the end of the conversation. If you say that I'm of the branch of antinatalists that don't want to wipe people out, don't want to force sterilization, but I think it's unethical or immoral for people to have children because it forces things on them. You could have made a new section that says life is meaningful, or you could have put that in there. Now, what I noticed here is you didn't say what you do believe. Again, you only specify what you do not believe. I think that's because you do believe life is meaningless and you had no argument to rebut me with. So you found one tiny perceived flaw in my video, and all your comments are about that flaw, not distinguishing whether you feel life is meaningful or not. Just, I never said life isn't meaningful. Well, you tell me, is life meaningful? But it's funny you focused on that because that's irrelevant. Whether you believe life is meaningful or not, it still applies to the argument. You're putting a value judgment on something. Once you do that, it doesn't matter. It's up to the person to define their beliefs, not up to the other person to little by little pull the threads out of the cloth of out of the fabric of your mind. You were dishonest in this debate. You purposely made sure you didn't say at all what you believed in that long ass comment you sent to me. So this is you, not me. I didn't mean hippies couldn't be rational. I simply hope that antinatalists would hold merit with rational people, since that would lend credence to the argument. I'd be thrilled whenever someone decides to be an antinatalist, though. Okay, I wasn't. I was actually. I didn't say you said that, but thanks for clarifying. What I was saying was the way you worded it. You put hippies in there, implying that they're all nonconformist or irrational. I was just saying that I didn't mean that. I was kind of saying the same thing you said. So, as to whether you made an ad hom or not, it doesn't really matter to me. So I'll grant you the benefit of the doubt. What matters is that you insinuated that the character of antinatalists somehow discredits their position. No, I didn't. In fact, I made a video against that. Do I feel that antinatalists have a certain personality trait that's shared between them, or that is very likely that most of them do? Yes, but if you saw my last video, I'm not saying that that has any bearing on the validity of their argument. It might have bearing on the quality of their person, but the most douchiest person in the world can say the sky is blue, and that doesn't make the sky any less blue. Sorry, you're wrong. You, I don't know, regressed to the beginning of the argument before we even talked to each other. I don't know why you did that. But basically, yeah, that's annoying as fuck. It's up to you. If your opinion differs in an important way from every other antinatalist, and don't throw me a bunch of antinatalists that agree with you. I don't care about your little, what do you call it? Social circle of sub circle of antinatalists that happen to agree with you. I can only go by what your people say are your beliefs. If your beliefs are different, it's up to you to define those beliefs in the beginning of the conversation. So yeah, this is you, not me. If you have something more to say, I'll respond to it, but my patience with the antinatalism is becoming thinner. It just is. I'll keep responding if you keep posting comments, but other than that, until I make another video, try to make the world a better place, and I will too.